This is a 7-string fan fret guitar from GOC. What's it do? What's it sound like? All right, that's pretty cool. Now, I'm just going to cut to the chase here and get to the good and the bad. So on the Witcher side, we've got, it's got an ergo body and it's super freaking light. And that's one thing I really like. Now on the Blood Origin side of things, the tuners are by RAMSAY BOLTON. Seriously, I fucking hate these things. They're the worst fucking tuners I've ever come across on any guitar I've ever played since I started in 1985. These things just destroy your fingers. They're so hard to turn. Now, I just reviewed that Harley Benton Doulahan there a couple weeks ago, and, you know, the tuners on that were really easy to turn. These pieces of shit are fucking horrible. I highly recommend having some kind of a guitar pick on hand that's like really, really thick so you can jam it in the grooves here and use it to turn these things, because if you use your fingers, you're not going to have any fucking skin left on them. So major thumbs down for that. The other thing I really don't like about this guitar is that The other thing I really don't like about this guitar is that there are no fret markers, and the fret markers on the side of the neck here are in fucking red. And for a guy like me who's partially colorblind, who has a very difficult time seeing red, they're really hard to keep track of, and it just makes life super difficult to keep track of where you are on the fretboard. Now, I'll admit right here, and I'm sure most of you guys will agree, my guitar skills aren't that great, so having fret markers that I can see really do help me figure out where the fuck I am on the neck and what note is coming up next. So some inlays or some better colored fret markers I think would be a huge fucking help. Now, the price for one of these is about $800 to $900 American. You can find these on AliExpress. Yes, they are made in China. They've got a Facebook page as well. I'll have links in the description below for everything on that. But other than that, those are my gripes for the guitar, and it's definitely designed to compete with another certain ergonomic guitar, but at a considerable less price. I mean, like, it is super comfortable. You can sit with it on this leg. You can sit with it on this leg, no problem. You can even, well, that doesn't work unless you pull the fucking the cable out. You can make it sit like this. I mean, like, make more sense to have the jack up here somewhere rather than, you know, down here, because that doesn't work at all. But I suppose you, oh, okay, well, that works. Actually, that's pretty cool. Okay, just figured something out. Sit it with this leg and then have it rest here, and then you're like perfect classical position. So that's actually pretty cool. That's kind of well thought of. The neck, it's a 7-string. The neck's fairly thick. It's not my particular favorite neck. I find as I'm doing more and more guitar reviews, I'm liking 7-strings guitars less and less. So there is that. But it does sound pretty damn good. Yeah, I gotta get used to playing on 7 strings again. What can I say? It's like, this isn't exactly what I call a guitar I reach for very much, mainly because the tuners are so fucking painful. I think if they upgraded these things into something that turned a little bit easier, they'd really be onto something. Now, that being said, the guitar does stay in tune fairly well, so I am not bitching there at all. And it does sound thick as fuck. But that's more to do with the amp and the cabinet that I'm running more than the, you know, the guitar and pickups, that kind of thing. As we showed in that video a few weeks back where I shot out 10 different guitars. And once you turn the gain up, turns out they all sound pretty much the same. That's different pickup scale lengths, you fucking name it. Yeah, they all sound pretty damn similar. Because once you start adding gain onto your sound, you're taking away the individuality of that guitar. And that's fine, as long as we know what we're getting ourselves into. Now, I gotta say, this guitar is an awful lot of fun to chug away on, but I've got to ask the one question though. How's the balance test on this thing? Let me put a strap on and see what it does. That's one thing I do like about, oh yeah, another thing I like about this. Unlike that Harley Benton Doulahan, you can actually put this into a Hercules stand and it will stay. Barely, but it does stay there. So that's pretty cool. Let's get the old leather strap from Levy's there that I had on my BC Rich Warlock. I pulled this out last time. A bunch of you guys were like, hey, I got that strap too. So yeah, okay. Brings me back to the old joke. Why'd the headbanger cross the road? Because he's a gullible moron who'll buy anything with skulls on it. Okay, that might be a problem right there, but strap-wise, yeah, this guitar is not top-heavy in the slightest, so okay, good for that. There's a good balance here. It definitely stays in the proper position. So that's a big plus in my book. Thing I don't like about sevens, though, is you try and play, you know, like E-bass chucking riff. It's just like that extra string really does get in the way. And no, I'm not that skilled of a guitar player, so that is something to be concerned with. I mean, yeah, the natural tendency to is always just riff on the 7, you know? And it does sound glorious on its own. The only thing is it really doesn't make for memorable riffs when they're that low. I think it might have something to do with how the human psyche is tuned. And just if we start going a little bit too low, things don't quite sink into our memory just as well. That's my running theory. Anyway, I could be completely full of shit as far as this is concerned. But it is something I'm looking into, and I'm going to be doing an episode on this with Trey Xavier, which is, you know, what makes a hook, what makes things work, what makes things stick in our memories, and why does that work? You know, I mean, like, we go back to my mix reviews show. I really can't name off how many 7-string, you know, instrumental songs people have sent me that I've just completely forgotten, but I can definitely name a few guys who brought in songs, you know, that had, you know, these big harmony choruses going on and stuff like that, and were super catchy. I can definitely remember all the names of those bands who brought in those tracks because they just blew us away. So, you know, 7 strings, I don't know, I'm not so convinced about them anymore. Yeah, they're nice, but it's not helping our songwriting. That's just my opinion. I could be completely wrong. I know every gent kid probably said, well, fuck you, Glenn. But and that's absolutely fine. If you're into the 7-string gent instrumental thing, this might be the guitar for you, especially if you can't shell out thousands of dollars. Because this guitar goes for somewhere between $800 and $900 US over on AliExpress. You can also find GOC over on Facebook and check out some pictures of some of their other models and whatnot. It's ridiculous. Let's check out the neck pickup as well. I gotta say, the action is pretty great on this. Like I said, I just wish there were some fret markers on here so I'd stop getting lost. And honestly, if it was only 6 strings, I might play this guitar an awful lot. The one big gripe I do have with this guitar is a major fucking safety hazard with the strings clipped down here like this. It's like, you might not want to do such a shitty job like I did here in clipping your strings, because I have definitely drawn blood by touching this up here. It's like, motherfucker, how many of you guys have done that where you just reached out and got pricked by the end of a guitar string? It's just like blood everywhere. It's like, oh, I fucking hate that. At least, you know, with the traditional headstock, you don't have them sticking out quite this bad. Here, it's pretty, oh, fuck, I just did it right there. Son of a bitch. Anyway, it is pretty gnarly down here, that's for sure. Now, the other thing I gotta say is the hardware down here at this end, I have had some issues with changing strings. Like, sometimes it just doesn't want to grab. You got to get the tools out and whatnot. I remember when I did change these strings out last time, I had a real hard time getting these back in place. So there is that to keep in mind as well, because it's a lot of work. So it's not perfect, that's for sure. Okay, specs-wise, I'm looking at the website. I thought this was originally the Materia. Maybe things have changed on the website since I got this guitar. This looks very close to the Illumina model right now, and it's made out of North American ash with a maple burl, and it's an ergo body style. I gotta say, I do like the burl. Fuck! Son of a bitch! Okay. Now I gotta say, I do like the body style here. It does look pretty damn sharp. I like the burl look. I love the color. It's a very, very, very visually appealing style of wood. No gripes there. I think they did a great job with that. Comes with a 3-way switch and only 1 volume knob, which is fine with son of a bitch. And a jack that needs to be tightened up. I tend to prefer minimal electronics. I mean, like I had a Charbonneau built there a couple of years ago with no tone knobs at all. And honestly, I've never used my tone knobs ever. So, you know, they're kind of pointless in my opinion. And the scale length here is 25.5 inch to 27 inch scale. So yes, this is a fan fret. So we're 25.5 inches here, 27 here. And yeah, that feels pretty good. I gotta say, you know, I don't mind fan frets at all. Doesn't really take too much to get used to. The action's okay. I could probably bring it down on the lower strings just a tiny bit, in my opinion. The bridge isn't nearly as horrible. Motherfucker. Now, the bridge isn't as bad as the Harley Benton, but it's still a fair amount of work to get these things to turn. And I think I brought the first string down as far as it'll go, and I really wish it could come down just a little bit further. So I'm going to have to dock him some points there. Fretboard is made out of Richlite, and it's got a 16-inch radius, and the truss rod is a 2-way truss rod with 2 carbon fiber rods. And the frets are MJ stainless steel 24 fret wires. The nut is steel 0 fret with SR spacer. No idea what the hell that means, but okay, sure. It is a 0 fret, so if you're into that sort of thing, great. This might be the guitar for you. Now, they do have some pickups listed, but I actually pulled those out and dropped in some DiMarzios a while back because I was going to do something with DiMarzio, and then I just realized it's like... yeah, when you're playing metal tones, the pickups really don't matter. As long as they're clean, they're fine. Believe me, you're going to get some minor differences, but they're about that much when you start playing with the amount of gain that I play with. So yeah, don't worry too much about the pickups. As far as I remember, the pickups that actually shipped with the guitar were decent as well. No gripes there at all, but hey, there we go. We learn as we go along. And when I got this guitar, I definitely didn't know as much about pickups as I do now. So in this situation, if I got this guitar new again, I probably wouldn't have swapped the pickups out. The ones that went with it were probably absolutely fine. The bridge, on the other hand, and the tuners, jeez. I really hope somebody thinks about possibly changing these out, because these things are just fucking terrible. All right, so for the GOC guitars, a 5-star breakdown. I'm going to say right here, I don't remember what the packing was like because I got this guitar, you know, quite a while ago. I think just before the pandemic hit. And then, you know, this wound up going into storage for a while, and that's why I haven't reviewed it yet. So anyway, now that I got it back out here, I can't say anything about the packaging because honestly, I just don't remember. So we're only going to judge it on three categories here. Number 1 is the fit and finish. I got to give maybe a 4-star on that. I think they did a great job here, honestly. I really do like the burl look. I like that wood look. It's pretty fucking sweet. Now, as far as setup goes, I gotta give it a 2.5. As I recall, I was not particularly thrilled with the action as it came in the box. I had to put some work in and mess around with this insane bridge and try and get the strings to sit a little bit better. Definitely had to do a couple neck adjustments. At least, you know, the truss rod adjuster is down here and easily accessible. You don't have to pull a cover off or anything like that. You can just jam a rod in there and give it a twist. Now, for components, I'm only going to give it 1 star here because, as stated several times in this video, I absolutely fucking despise these tuners. Like, seriously, what the fuck were you guys thinking? Let's put the worst possible tuners on here to tear people's fingers up. Instead, having a screwdriver on here, a flathead or something like that in your gig bag might help you tune faster, because every time I've got to retune this guitar, I just dread it because I know I'm going to have sore fingers because of it. So that has to fucking change, guys. Seriously. Now, obviously, this is meant to be a much more economical alternative to other ergonomically styled guitars out there from, like, say, famous European brands. Now, it doesn't have that famous European brand's wedge neck on the back. This is definitely a standard kind of neck. It's a little thick for my taste, to be honest with you. I've got some 7s with much thinner necks that I tend to prefer. But it does sit pretty great in the lap, and it doesn't take up much space. Like I said, just be careful here. You might want to clip those down a little bit more, and maybe even see if you can like file down the edges or something like that, because that is a major puncture hazard right there, and that's going to fucking hurt, that's for sure. So overall, I've got to give this guitar a 2.5 out of 5-star ratings. It's off to a good start. It needs some work. The tuners need a major rethink as far as I'm concerned. And most importantly, it could use a much better setup in the shop. I think if GOC really wants to be a contender, they're going to need to put a little bit more time into how they set their guitars out before they ship them off. That's just my 2 cents anyway. I could be completely wrong here. If there's some other users out there who've heard of GOC or are using them or whatnot, hey, feel free to chime in and tell me what I got wrong. I'm always down to learn new stuff. Of course, this model is a couple of years old, so they might have already fixed a bunch of this stuff. But it's a halfway decent guitar, but I gotta say, it doesn't get used very much in here at all. When I need a 7, I'm probably going to reach for my Ormsby over this, mainly because it's much easier to tune. And if your tuning process is going to be painful, your guitar is fucking worthless as far as I'm concerned. All right, guys, if you found the video useful, please hit the subscribe button. At the time of shooting this, I'm still shy of 500,000 subscribers, so I need your help to get there. And if you want to watch some more guitar reviews, please check out my LTD review here, or take a look at that Harley Benton Dualhorn video I did a couple weeks back as well. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.